The snow began to fall 3 days before Christmas, quiet and deliberate, as if the sky itself was trying to hide something. Evan Miller had always believed snow made the world honest. It covered ugliness. It softened sharp edges. It gave poor men like him the illusion that, for a few hours, everyone lived in the same white silence. He was wrong. Evan was 26, white, thin from years of underpaid labor, and living out of a rented room near the old railway in Pine Hollow, a town that survived on old money and secrets. Every December, the town transformed into something festive on the surface, wreaths on iron gates, golden lights on mansions, carols echoing from churches funded by donors who never sat in the pews. That was where Amora Kingsley came from. Amora was the only daughter of Jonathan Kingsley, a black billionaire whose fortune had been built on private security contracts, data farms, and influence no one could fully trace. The Kingsley estate sat on the hill like a fortress, modern, guarded, untouchable. Evan first saw Amora while shoveling snow outside the Kingsley Charity Hall. She wasn't dressed like the others who arrived in polished SUVs. No fur coat. No diamonds. Just a wool scarf, dark curls tucked into it, her eyes observant, curious, too awake for a town that preferred people not look too closely. She thanked him. Not the automatic nod rich people gave workers. She stopped. Looked at him. Spoke his name from the tag on his jacket. That moment changed everything. They met again by accident. Then again on purpose. At the library where Evan went to stay warm. At the closed ice rink at night. At the Christmas market, where Amora bought cheap cinnamon bread and laughed like it was the best thing she'd ever tasted. She never told him who she really was at first. She said her father was important. He said he was replaceable. They fell in love quietly, urgently, like people who sensed time was against them. But Pine Hollow noticed. Small towns always do. By the second week of December, Evan felt it, the way conversation stopped when he entered the room. The way a black sedan idled near his building too often. The way Amora started glancing over her shoulder. Then the warnings came. A man from the Kingsley estate approached Evan at work. "You're trespassing," the man said calmly. "In places that don't belong to you." Evan laughed it off. He shouldn't have. On Christmas Eve, Amora didn't show up. No call. No message. Nothing. Evan walked through the snow to the hill, heart pounding, breath burning in his chest. The estate gates were closed. Armed guards stood like statues. He shouted her name. One guard finally approached. "She's gone," the man said. "You should go home." That night, Pine Hollow celebrated. Fireworks. Church bells. Wine and music. Evan walked back alone as snow swallowed his footprints. Amora Kingsley was officially reported missing on December 26. The news exploded. Headlines called it a kidnapping. A possible political hit. A foreign threat. Evan's name never appeared. But the police questioned him anyway. They asked about his past. His debts. His phone records. They never asked about love. What Pine Hollow didn't know, what would only surface years later, was that Amora had planned to leave. She had uncovered something in her father's empire. Something tied to deaths labeled accidents. Something involving the same private security division that now guarded the estate. She had told Evan, "If I disappear, it won't be random." Her last message to him, sent but never delivered, was found much later on a damaged phone. "Meet me after midnight. Christmas night." The old rail bridge. Evan never saw it. The message had been intercepted. In February, when the snow melted enough to reveal what it had been hiding, a hiker found a car at the bottom of the ravine near the old bridge. Inside was Amora. The ruling was swift. Accidental crash. Weather-related. No foul play suspected. The case closed before questions could form. Jonathan Kingsley held a press conference. He wept convincingly. Donations poured in. Foundations were renamed in her honor. Evan watched from a broken TV in his rented room, hands shaking. He knew. Years later, a journalist reopened the case. Documents surfaced. Deleted security footage. Internal emails marked urgent containment. The journalist disappeared before publishing. The article was released posthumously by an anonymous source. It ended with one line. Amora Kingsley did not die in an accident. She was silenced. No arrests were made. Evan never left Pine Hollow. Every Christmas Eve, he walks to the old rail bridge and leaves cinnamon bread in the snow. Some say he's crazy. Others say he knows too much. Sometimes, when the snow falls just right, people claim they see a woman standing beside him, watching the town below, silent, unresolved. The snow keeps falling. And Pine Hollow keeps pretending nothing happened.